What do you know to be true? How did you come to that? Sometimes it's not about like expansion, it's really about like revelation. When I started to make documentary theater, it was this revelation of how you can subvert the grand narrative by all of these different perspectives being able to live together in the same place on stage. History's by the victors until you can subvert it.
I'm responsible to my own poetic truth. I do think that that's what's fun about my theatrical project is like it's the perfect blend of fiction and reality, and you can't quite really make sense of what is what. Curiosity, I think, is the most important thing, a curiosity to discover something new or to go on a journey with me. And through each project, I feel like I learn more about myself as an artist. I try to hold space for being messy and truthful. I hope to create experiences like that for people.
Everything on the plate has a story to tell. Like this rice was hand harvested 100 miles from here in a canoe and, parched over fire on the shore there, or these animals were raised on the Great Plains. And if we took that deeper into understanding how Indigenous peoples have this connection and try to give this connection to everybody else, then we can start to see better paths. And how is food going to help people? But I found a path for that.
Someone will say, well, what can I do? Open your eyes and talk to people. Saying, I see you. Everything about Futuro Media has been to say, we are here. We need to be here. We take very seriously the fact that we are creating and taking up space. When I became a journalist, that's when I understood responsibility. Who am I going to be? Am I going to say Maria Hinojosa? Or Maria Hinojosa?
I'm Maria Hinojosa. I'm Maria Hinojosa. I'm Maria Hinojosa. I'm Maria Hinojosa. Good night.
Maybe there's going to be another young person who hears this and is going to say, me too.
I think we're all mirrors of each other. When you recognize something, it's because it's something that you actually have in yourself. You have the capacity to do it because you can recognize it.
I feel like there's inspiration all around us constantly. It could just be a matter of sitting on the side of the river and just watching the water, watching the sparkles of the light.
Music is very inspiring, nightlife is very inspiring, the dance floor is very inspiring. Any fantasy and any reality, any persona that you want to don, you can.
In the end, I actually do believe that the United States of America is actually more prone to loving and accepting who we are than hate. But you gotta fight for the love.
We're in a political crisis, a crisis of democracy, and a crisis of liberation and humanity. I believe strongly in the power of a reverence, engaging the things that matter most, but not doing it with fear.
I believe art has an impact on democracy. Journalism having an impact on democracy, that's what really moves me. We're actually putting what's happening in a context. We're putting it in a context that says, American history is complicated.
And questioning why didn't I have access to indigenous foods growing up on the third largest reservation in the United States? When we had so many other pieces of our culture, why was our food taken from us? And it didn't have to go too deep into history to understand the reasons why.
In my worst moments, I'll wake up and I'll just be like, oh my God, my entire career was worth nothing. And I say, well, you're not gonna stop. You're gonna continue.
If you're really gonna make change, there's really no choice but to try.
We have to be jumping off cliffs and developing wings on the way down.
And I just wanna try. Maybe I'll fail, but I feel like I see a solution out there. It's something that connects us on a much, much larger scale.
I don't know, I'm just a big romantic. I'm a big hopeless romantic.
Saving things instead of destroying things.
I think of myself as a listener.
When I think about dancers, I think of devotion.
Those ancient cities were often chances.
There's something about that that makes you go, oh yeah.
I'm not alone.